In this video, I'll be creating two user accounts, add them to a security group as well as an OU, and assign them some share permissions. And then we're going to use group policy to configure the desktop for these users, as well as prevent them from changing it. And lastly, we're going to delete a user account and restore it using Authoritative Restore. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the two user accounts. So first we're going to go to Active Directory Users and Computers, snap-in. In the Users section, we're going to right-click and click New. We have two user accounts, one called Bill Smith, username bsmith, normal password that we normally use, and one Annie Drake, username A Drake. So I'm going to create the MKT department OU, marketing department. We're going to click OK. And now we're going to create the security group called marketing, in which we're going to place the two accounts that we just created, Bill Smith and Annie Drake. We're going to call this marketing. Now we're going to add Bill Smith and Annie Drake to this group. We'll right click and click add to group. We'll type in marketing, then we'll check the name and we'll click OK. Now we're going to verify that those two users are in the marketing group. So we're going to right click and go to properties, click on members. As you can see, there are two users. Now we're going to move Annie Drake and Bill Smith to the marketing department OU. Simple as drag and drop, as we have learned in previous videos. Now we're going to create a folder and put in a text file in it. We're going to share this folder and assign the appropriate share permissions. So of course, we'll just go to the local C disk. We'll right click and go to new folder. We'll call this marketing share. Then we'll add a text file and call it something interesting. Let's call this one financial information. And we'll open up the text document and we'll just add the word text in it, just so it's not empty, so we can see if there are any changes. And we're going to right click on marketing share and click share. And we're going to find the marketing group and we're going to add it. So it's as simple as clicking find and typing in marketing. Then we're going to ensure that marketing only has the read permissions, which we're going to edit that a little bit more finer as we go on. And there's our UNC path. So we're going to right click and go to properties. We're going to go to the sharing tab. We're going to click advanced sharing. We're going to click permissions. And we're going to make sure the marketing group only has read, which it does, under allow. And we're going to go to the security page tab. We're going to click the marketing group, click advanced. We want to edit the permissions, so we're going to select the marketing group once more, click edit this time. And we only want this group to have two permissions. So we're going to uncheck the traverse folder and execute file. We're going to leave list folders and read data selected as well as read attributes. And we're going to uncheck read extended attributes. So there are two attributes that we want to allow. We're going to OK and close. Now we're going to log in as Bill Smith. Now we're going to type in the UNC path that we saw earlier. We're going to do a couple tests just to make sure that the share permissions and NTFS permissions are in effect. So you notice we can open the file, as in read it, but if we try to add text to it, as in changing it, and if we try to save it, it won't let us. It gives us an error saying to make sure the file and path name are correct. So now we'll close out of this, and we'll try to create a file in this folder. As you can see, it will not let us do that either because we are only given the read permission. It's telling us that we don't have the permissions to perform this action. Now we're going to be using group policy to configure the desktop for our servers. We're going to start on server 02. As you can see, we are still given the option to create a desktop background. As you can see, there was no desktop background that was already configured. But after we configure our group policy, we will have one configured. So let's start by going to My Computer, Local Disk. I've already created a folder. It's called WP for Wallpaper, and it has the WP, the wallpaper that we're going to be using. So we want to share this across the network. So we're just going to make a simple file share. We're going to make sure everyone has the read permission. We'll click share, and then we'll need that UNC path as soon as we configure our group policy. So now we're going to go to our group policy management console. So we're going to expand the domain01.local domain. We're going to right click on marketing department and create a new GPO in this domain and link it here. We'll call it the GPO desktop config. Something simple. As you can see, there it is right there in our scope. I'm going to right click desktop config and click edit. I'm going to go to policies under user configuration, administrative templates, desktop, and desktop again. We're going to go to desktop wallpaper and we're going to enable it. This is where we type in the UNC path of the wallpaper file that we want to use. So we're going to go // rwdc01 /wp /wp.jpg, since the wallpaper file is a JPEG file. And of course, we are given the option as a wallpaper style. We're just going to leave it as centered for now. Now we're going to prevent users from changing the desktop background. So we're going to go to Control Panel, Display. Our very last option, we have Prevent Changing Wallpaper. We'll double click and we'll enable it because we do not want them to change the wallpaper. We're going to close out. We'll go back over to server 02 and we'll log in under one of the accounts that is in the marketing department OU, which Annie Drake was. As you can see, there's our custom wallpaper. And in order to test that we cannot change it, we'll right click and go to personalize. Now previously there was an option to change the wallpaper, but now it's not there anymore. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to perform an authoritative restore. But first we need to make sure we have a backup. And I did perform a backup. As you can see, that's what we have here. So we're going to go to the Active Directory Users and Computers snap-in. We're going to delete the Bill Smith user account. We're just going to simulate a mistake in which his account was deleted. As you can see, there's no option to undo. So as soon as you delete something, you have another option, other two, perform an authoritative restore. So to start, we're going to go to command prompt. We're going to type in bcdedit /set safeboot ds repair. And the operation completed successfully. Now we're going to restart our computer. As soon as it restarts, we will log back in under the computer administrator, not the domain. As you can see, in all four corners we have safe mode, which means we are in DS repair mode. Now we're going to go back to command prompt. And the first command we're going to issue is wb-admin space get versions. And the second backup you see, we will need that version identifier. So we're going to type in wb-admin start system state recovery version :11/28/2014 -20:11. And then asks us if we want to start the system state recovery operation. Of course, we're going to click yes. Now, as soon as that completes, we will be prompted to restart the server. But first, we have to actually perform the authoritative restore. So first, we're going to start by going back to command prompt. We're going to type in ntds util. Then we're going to type in activate instance ntds. Then we're going to type in authoritative restore. Then we're going to type in restore subtree OU equals marketing department, comma DC equals domain 01, comma DC equals local. As soon as we type that command in, we're going to click enter. It's going to ask us if we're sure we would like to perform the authoritative restore, and of course we are. So you see it says it found 5 records to update. So what we're going to do is we're going to restart the server. But first we're going to type in bcd edit /delete value safe boot. This ought to make it so when we restart it, it goes back to how the server is supposed to be rather than going to safe mode. So now we will restart the server. This time we can log back in as the administrator account for the domain O1 local domain. So now, just to verify everything has worked, we're going to go to the users and computer snap-in. We will find that the Bill Smith user account has been restored. This is the end of my lab video for the skills test in INTC 2050.